Before we get into this video, I want to make a couple things clear. The first thing is, no, absolutely not, under no circumstances am I ranking Onslaught. The second thing is, you're damn lucky this was not a three-way fight for rank 4, because immediately after exploring the Wheel of Fate, I got Jean Grey out of a Titan Nexus, and then we pulled a Mutant Awakening gem. It was a match made in heaven. It had to be. But then, about an hour and a half after closing that stream, I realised I was quite close to another Titan Crystal. I opened it and then obviously got Jean Grey. Now, had I known that I was going to get screwed over, I would have put that gem into Dazzler and this would have been a three-way fight for rank 4. So you're lucky that this is as simple as it is. Now, when I press play here, hopefully I can begin to explain why this is such a difficult decision. Basically, these two mutants could trade blows all day over basically everything and you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. They are both exceptional, and anybody who says this is an easy decision or they've already made up their mind is either A, lying, B, has never played Jean Grey before, or has C, never played Mr. Sinister properly. This is one of the hardest rank up decisions I've ever had to make, hence why I'm making a video. Normally, I don't consult people on rank up decisions, right? I routinely ignore the advice people give me on rank ups and go with whatever I want because I think people are stupid. But this time I am genuinely asking you, the viewer, what do you think? Because I don't know. I'm stumped, right? This footage here is just an appetizer, right? I want to show you that these two could go all day trading blows about whatever you choose because they are so evenly matched. Power Shield is a node that the mutant class enjoys quite a lot, and Jean Grey is exceptionally impressive. You just saw, he just melted that Morbius. But Mr. Sinister, he ain't having none of it. He is the king of Power Shield. No champion takes Power Shield like Mr. Sinister, right? He is safe, he is powerful, Hood is ticking for 66k per second. He is going to go down with his single set of degens. I think we're going to land another parry. That's lights out, right? Hood's dead. Faster than Jean Grey. Right, there's no competition there, he's faster. But then, what's this? I believe later on there'll be a Mole Man, right? And Mr. Sinister's debuff purification ability accuracy reduction takes time to kick in, right? Things actually need to get purified for that anti-purify ability to kick in. That's annoying. We don't want that. Jean Grey's awakened ability, no need. Passive parry stun. So this Mole Man is going to be exactly the same as the Morbius fight. It might be a bit slow, I think he stalls me a little bit, but it's basically the same thing, and while Mr. Sinister could do this Mole Man, it wouldn't be anywhere near as smooth as Jean Grey. So, yeah, okay, we're trading blows. Another way they trade blows is on defense. We've got no defensive footage of these guys today, we're just focusing on them offensively, but both of them are very tanky. Mr. Sinister regenerates crit damage. Jean Grey has also an enormous health ball. Both of them have enormous health balls. But she has her force field and she will place exhaustions on you if you crit her. Mr. Sinister will degenerate you if he throws a special attack while he has a DOT. His SP2 shuts off all your ability accuracy. Jean Grey has a chance to reverse your controls. So against Mr. Sinister, if you don't have a robot or jack-o'-lantern, odds are you're going to have a rough time. Against Jean Grey, you don't have a reverse controls immune champion, odds are you're going to have a rough time. Trading blows all day. They're equally as hard as each other, as far as I'm concerned. Now into some Battlegrounds footage. A match that Jean Grey does very well. This is the first time I've ever tackled a Yelena Belova with Jean Grey. And I know I'm punching down here, but if I were to take Jean to rank 4, then the relationship between these two rarities would be roughly equal to Elena being a rank 3. Not quite, but close enough, and this was the only footage I could secure today because she kept getting banned. Here, I actually made a mistake. Because the uncanny passives made my special attack so cheap, I thought I was running an SB1 and I actually threw an SB2. Now Yelena's going to throw her SB2. I dex the first bit and take the rest to the face. However, thanks to the force field, it does 1% damage, which is quite funny, which means I can now safely proceed with the fight without having my score ruined, and the next SB2 should just end Yelena. So, very powerful skill defender that is causing trouble for top tier BG players, even as a 6-star, gone. I can play like a buffoon and still secure 50,000 points. But who is the most dangerous skill defender in the game? This man right here. And there is no bullseye counter like Mr. Sinister. I know that other dedicated bullseye counters exist, like Gentle, like Dazzler, like Negasonic Teenage Warhead, but I said when the Mr. Sinister buff came out, I wasn't a content creator then, but I said it to all my mates, this is it. This is the end of Bullseye as we know it, right? Bullseye can never be easier than when you fight with a Mr. Sinister. It is literally impossible to die. You cannot die against a bullseye with Mr. Sinister, because eventually your regen just takes control, right? It is impossible to lose. Against bullseye with Negasonic Teenage Warhead, you can lose. Against Dazzler, you can lose. With Gentle, you can lose. You can't lose with Mr. Sinister, and that's what you want, right? This is equal ranks as a rank 3. Thank you so much to Beamerpath, by the way. He was being really helpful, really patient while we secured this matchup. And yeah, this guy's now ticking for 20k per second. I can just take these hits, right? It really doesn't matter to me. And he can go unblockable, he can purify my debuffs, it slows me down a bit, but I'm never going to die. I'm never going to lose health, which is the most important bit of your Battlegrounds store, because I can't die, right? I'm just not going to lose any score on that. And now we have shut off the purify ability accuracy, so the node's kind of gone. It's going to take a bit more than a minute, but in a meta that didn't purify my debuffs, easy 51k every single time. You know, you can throw your special attack through my block. 49k, 100% health. No one gives a shit. Right? So, yes, both of these characters can do both of those fights very well. But you got to pick one, right? You've got to pick one. And Mr. Sinister does Bullseye better. Jean Grey does Yelena Belova better. Mr. Sinister does Maestro better. Jean Grey does Onslaught better. They can go all day. You know, if you're stuck without a counter to a future Ant-Man, but you have Mr. Sinister, use Mr. Sinister. But can Jean Grey do that? No. But can Jean Grey do on to a tumor? Yes. And Mr. Sinister just can't do that. So, again, trading blows in Battlegrounds, it doesn't matter. They can go all day. Now we're going to get into some story content, not on Power Shield, which is a bit of a joke node. No, we're going to take on a proper Scourge node in Act 9. These Scourges are reducing my defensive ability accuracy, and he's going to go unblockable every now and then. It's just generally a very nasty lane. Yes, I do have Striker Vulnerability to help me out with it, but this Hulk has 1.1 million health, so I think it's fair. We're going to chuck off the first SP2, and yeah, he's down to 50% health. Absolutely enormous damage from Jean Grey. I haven't played Jean Grey at all since my new champion gameplay video, and I will say, picking her up as a 7-star, I was immediately reminded about how just insane she is. She's just ridiculous. That second SP2, 120k in red. I think the first one had around 240k in red, which is ridiculous. And the nice thing about the red damage is it isn't stored by Hulk's gamma radiation, so I think we're going to convert these debuffs into passive neuroshocks, and he's going to die very soon after that. So yeah, chucked off the SP1. That DOT, by the way, is huge. You can see it ticking for like 3k per tick, and that's as powerful as like one of Jean Grey's cold snaps. If you want to just loop SP1s and just have that DOT ticking, it's not going to be as quick because the SP2 is so monstrous, but it's fine. It's perfectly respectable damage output just on the SP1, and I like champions that have versatile rotations. Up next is a 900,000 health Killmonger on the same lane. Yeah, I used Jean Grey for this entire lane. She's still at 100% health thanks to the force field. You're going to see that force field get used in this fight. It's so useful. You saw it against Yelena Belova as well. And here we're going to bait out an SP2. I probably should have just switched over all those debuffs to passives immediately, but I didn't because I'm a clown. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to chuck off 2 SP1s, then an SP2, hopefully with the Striker Fury, and just end this man. Right, so even on a very tough lane, Jean Grey, useful to have around. This is another skill matchup you can just obliterate in Battlegrounds as long as you have your force field active. You're not taking any Thorns damage. Now, obviously, the target of that is a tumor, but it also applies to Killmonger. You can see there, I took the final hit of the SP2 to the face. Normally, that is lights out for any sort of champion. That hit hits very hard, but no, it did 2% damage. Unfortunately, I do now take Reverb, which is annoying, but that SP2 did a lot of damage. I was going to try and read the numbers as they came across the screen, but I can't read, and it doesn't matter. It was big. Now we have the force field back active, and we're not going to be taking any reverb, but he's going to die here after this SP1, same as iHulk. And yeah, exactly the same fight. 2 very tough fights, yet they go down very nicely. Both less than 90 seconds. Act 9 content, right? She's very useful to have around. Now let's have a look at Mr. Sinister. No, he does not hit as hard, right? First thing I noticed when I had both these characters at rank 3, Jean Grey is a ridiculous nuke. She hits stupidly hard. No champion in the game right now is immune to Neuroshock, right? She can definitely access an enormous damage output very easily. But Mr. Sinister, there are very few other champions in the game that can go through the toughest content, the lanes where they don't belong, as well as Mr. Sinister. Like, very few champions are as resilient, and you're going to see later on in this fight that I take an absolute beating, and he just doesn't care, right? He gets back up on his feet. That's what I love about Mr. Sinister. If you don't quite have the best option for something, he just fills in. He's the perfect substitute, right? So up against this Wasp, here I charged my heavy, smacked once, smacked twice, smacked a third time. About 5% health I had there, regen back up to 50. Yeah, and you're going to see I actually end this lane at 100% health. There are like less than 10 characters in the game that can regen and be that resilient. Like, I think like Count Nefaria, King Groot, Diablo, like Blade. There are very few champions with regen like, quite that strong. He just gets back up on his feet and keeps fighting. It is very difficult to stop Mr. Sinister. You can slow him down. He's certainly getting slowed down here, but he is damn near impossible to kill. It's very difficult to stop him in his tracks. If there's like a node defender combination that can straight up stop Mr. Sinister, it's objectively a hard node combination because Wasp goes down. I'm at 57%. She was applying her shock to me. I know that fight had like half the health of the Immortal Abomination, or the Immortal Hulk rather, but it doesn't matter because it was just such a rough node champion combination that we needed somebody of Mr. Sinister's caliber to survive and get through it. This is the end of the path up against America Chavez here. You're going to see me, again, just being very relaxed the way I play this. There's the bloody fly again. And yet he's going to finish this fight at 100% health, right? He's just exceptional. He's just ridiculous. This character should not be allowed. Remember, this is all at Sig 1. Right, so if he does go to rank 4 for me, he will get all my Sig Stones and he will go to Sig 200. So all those genetic perfections I have underneath his health bar, all of those effects are going to get bolstered by me adding Sigs. Right now, they're Sig 1, and yet having like 1 or 2 of those cosmic genetic perfections and mystic genetic perfections is more than enough to just rinse any Battlegrounds opponent. I'm sure any Mr. Sinister player has stories of how they've like gone into a Battlegrounds match with 4 cosmic genetic perfections and just eliminated opponents. Like, I've had equal ranks Maestros go down in less than 30 seconds. It's ridiculous. I take a heavy attack to the face. She now has 2 of her dimensions, but here I don't care. I push her to an SB2. Any other champion, this is lights out. I've locked the unblockable special attack, and we carry on like nothing happened. She's going to die here. We have 10 degens. She's ticking for 13,000 per second. We just about catch that parry for a second time to pause again, and I don't think she's going to die from the degens, but she will die from the next heavy attack. So yeah, we nail the parry, and she goes down. 100% health. Right, you can take a heavy attack from Wasp to the face, go down to 5% health, and be happy as Larry finishing the lane at 100% health if you have Mr. Sinister. That is why he is in contention for this. Obviously, he's iconic, right? He's a great defender. I actually really like him as a champion. Jean Grey's shiny and new, but she can't do that. But Mr. Sinister can't hit as hard as Jean Grey. Let me know what you think. I'm stumped. I imagine there'll be like some people who are like, yeah, obviously Jean Grey, or yeah, obviously Mr. Sinister. I have some very passionate Mr. Sinister players in my alliance that say that. But that's it, right? Hopefully I've explained why this is difficult, and that's all I've got for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations. You have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish. And go away.